All right, folks, welcome to game number 2 of this CEVO Season 4 match between CHUANZ and Vas'Avi. I'll be your host, Gorgon the Wonder Cow. You can catch me over at GotCow with Dota, and I am joined by the Sweet Maker, Toffees.
Sweet maker of what? You can find me on Twitter at Toffees_Dota2. But glad that you guys could join the Candyman and the Cowboy for a little bit of fun this evening.
Yeah, the first game was, well, it's hard to say another way other than a bit of a stomp coming out of Vas'Avi, really reading the draft out of CHUANZ perfectly from the very beginning and executed exactly how one would imagine you'd want to execute that draft. Always initiating, always being together, making sure the push works, getting that aggressive tri-lane. They basically played it flawlessly. And CHUANZ coming out here with a very different draft, hoping to make something else out of it.
Absolutely. So CHUANZ going to look already a very, very different draft coming out of them right now. Quick grab on the Puck and the Mirana. Very nice combo, some stun, some good lockdown comes from Puck, going to prevent that mobility that we saw used so well from Team Vas'Avi last time around. And they do allow Vas'Avi to have the Invoker this time.
All right, so Vas'Avi grabbing that Invoker. The Mirana is going to come out with CHUANZ. They've got that Moonlight Shadow availability with the Puck. They've got a high mobility squad so far, but they don't have a whole lot in terms of survivability. What do you think they're going to do about that?
I'm sorry, I was reading Twitch chat.
I was saying that CHUANZ has high mobility, but not a lot of survivability at the moment. Do we think that they're going to pick up something along the lines of a Centaur War Runner and make that even out?
I would love to see a Centaur Warrunner. I think he's a ton of fun. I also wouldn't be surprised to see an Axe. He's been very popular lately. But I do want to point out that It's Even Dude over in the Twitch chat asked if he could have me in ice cream, and it sort of freaked me out. So that was why I was distracted, but I'm back now.
CEVO has the best fans. You guys are really basically the best people to cast to. Oh boy, chocolate. There is probably about 3 pages of CEVO chat on ice cream right now, if you were to paste it into Word. It goes back a while, jeez. So, for those of you who are on the in-game ticket, thank you for supporting CEVO, supporting these teams. But you can also stop by twitch.tv/playcevo1 to hit the follow button, make sure that you're getting all of your CEVO action, and also chat about ice cream. What's not to love?
There's literally nothing to not love about ice cream. I don't know if I said that right. Anyway, I think you're right. CHUANZ is going to need some tank ability here. Also, wouldn't be surprised to see them pick up a Shadow Demon here as their support position. Pairs so well with Mirana. And honestly, I think I know I like Shadow Demon way more than I like the traditional Bane pickup.
Yeah, Shadow Demon is one of my favorite heroes personally, and what he offers to both the early game and the mid game is matched by no other hero. His damage output in terms of standing next to a DPS hero and throwing down that Soul Catcher. Also, he has the initiation ability with that Disrupt that works the same way as a Naga Siren, same way as a Bane, same way as a Vengeful Spirit. You basically are able to catch up and get around the hero, prepare to beat him down once that Soul Catcher comes out and you have the amplified damage. He is just an extraordinarily valuable hero. I would love to see him come out for any lineup, basically, but he's been more popular lately, but he's still not the most popular in terms of hero. I don't know if we're going to see him, even though the Mirana is out on the table.
Absolutely. And it is worth pointing out Vas'Avi's been allowed to take the Disruptor again in this match, and I would not be surprised to see them also grab the Dazzle. They use him to great effect, and I think that he combos well with the way that they have this team set up.
Absolutely. We're looking at very little reserve time. That just caught me off guard. I looked down at the clock. We are going to see the Naga Siren come out. That strikes me as a little bit more in meta. The Naga Siren still is the net to set up for that Sacred Arrow. She'll also probably be your farming carry, although she could go as support, she could go as a mid. I would expect that to be your farming carry with an offlane Mirana, possibly an aggressive tri-lane coming out of CHUANZ, but not necessarily, as that Naga Siren tries to get up a Radiant and do a fair amount of global damage.
Absolutely. And that will be good. It's going to give them a little bit. It's going to give them a lot of late game. It's going to give them some push that I don't feel that they had nearly enough of to keep the pressure up on Vas'Avi last time around. If you can force out those rotations, it really slows down what your opponent's trying to do. And last time around, Vas'Avi just played good, solid, objective-based Dota, and CHUANZ wasn't quite ready to counter that.
I don't know what CHUANZ is thinking, letting Flying Zebra get that Dazzle again. That was horrifying for them. They were fighting zombies all day long, and the fact that that Shallow Grave was able to keep up that Slardar behind tier 2 towers diving in. Yes, the Dazzle died in, but that was a good portion of how Vas'Avi was able to keep up the pressure. They're running a very similar draft so far. They've got the Invoker, but Disruptor, Dazzle, they could still go for a Slardar if they wanted to.
Yeah, and I think Slaughter would even be more effective with the Invoker on hand, because Invoker is going to, I would assume, go Quas Wex, being that it's ridiculously overpowered right now. The Tornado sets up perfectly for a Disruptor field. Once that field is down, the Slaughter can blink in, keep his stun timed out perfectly, and the amount of damage they can throw down combined with that EMP is just going to be ridiculous. So I think Slaughter is a good pick for them, actually.
Boy, Crystal Maiden coming out for CHUANZ. That's another hero who's not terribly popular these days. She fell off a little bit over the last month. She kind of just starts to feed in. If you don't have a very strong early game, after levels 3 to 6, somewhere along those lines, Crystal Maiden just starts to become relatively useless for a good portion of the map. Especially since the CHUANZ squad has fairly good mana pools. They probably won't have too much trouble keeping their mana up. So that aura coming out of the Crystal Maiden, not as useful as it would be on a mana-dependent squad, like a squad that had, say, an Ember Spirit in it.
So they go with the Luna up on Vas'Avi there. Interesting pick, less tanky than the Slardar, but I think a good pickup. That they're not going up against a overwhelmingly tanky team as it is.
Yeah, the Luna also would be very, very strong if Vas'Avi does decide to go for something along the lines of an aggressive trialing, because that Luna in a one-on-one matchup does extremely well. Her health pool, fairly solid. Her starting armor, fairly solid. She's got damage output. She's also survivable. She's got a mini stun if she needs it. So a one-on-one lineup, or a one-on-one matchup opportunity for that Luna is something that Vas'Avi might be looking at. They might just be looking to jam it down to CHUANZ throats again, especially considering the Crystal Maiden is out, and that is another hero who usually spends a fair amount of time in the jungle.
Yep, absolutely. So last pickups here coming out. It looks like we're going to see another support picked up by CHUANZ. I would still venture to say Shadow Demon if it's not banned out here. And Team Vas'Avi is going to be looking for that off lane. What do you think for their off lane?
You know, I am not confident about either of these teams' next pickups, just because, once again, does Vas'Avi run that aggressive trialing or not? Does CHUANZ run that Naga Siren as a farming carry or as a support or a mid? Both of these squads sitting on a fairly flexible decision-making. It's really going to come down to whether or not Vas'Avi decides to run that aggressive trialing.
I am going to call Shadow Demon a Weaver.
Shadow Demon, Weaver. Shadow Demon for CHUANZ, Weaver for Vas'Avi.
Yes.
I will go ahead and say... Oh dear, I'm running out of time to make this choice. There's only 8 seconds left, and the lifesteal is going to be banned out for CHUANZ. I'm thinking we're going to see a Vengeful Spirit. And for Vas'Avi, I'm thinking we're going to see... Templar Assassin instead. So that puck is going to be... this is...
Yeah.
Okay, so... This is an interesting choice. So the Templar Assassin almost certainly going to be in that mid lane up against the Invoker. Templar Assassin does well against the Invoker until the EMP comes out. Puck probably going to be your off laner with the Mirana as a support. But what we could also see is the aggressive tri-lane coming out of CHUANZ with the Mirana, Naga Siren, and Crystal Maiden together, and the Puck solo safe lane, or the Puck mid and the Templar Assassin solo safe lane would actually make the most sense.
So what you're saying is they have options.
They have a lot of options. My guess is going to be that aggressive tri-lane with the Mirana, Naga Siren, Crystal Maiden, Templar Assassin, solo safe lane. They are going to, or somebody's grabbing that Centaur War Runner.
You called that a while ago, so I don't know if you called it for them specifically, but there is going to be a Centaur War Runner, which means we get to see our own little version of Dunks here. Centaur War Runner, I don't want to say the poor man's Axe. I actually like him more than Axe because of his stun capabilities, but reminds me a lot of Axe in a lot of ways.
He is a lot of like Axe in a lot of ways. He plays very similarly. He is the Axe, what Sand King is the Earthshaker. But either way, we're going to see some very aggressive Dota coming out of VA, especially as a Centaur and as the Luna come into their own. And it does look like we're going to see the Puck off lane. Less exciting than the aggressive tri-lane, but maybe the right choice. Some good sportsmanship coming out of these teams as we do move into game number 2. And I forgot to set the... score counter, but VA is sitting 1-0 in this best of 3 series. Now, for CHUANZ, we have 470 Ping Ping Reborn on the Puck. In the mid lane, we've got 4 Dream on the Crystal Maiden and 1 DR on the Templar Assassin. In the bottom lane, we've got Hacks leaping around the Mirana, and we are going to have Frost taking that Naga Siren. That is going to be a support Naga Siren.
And on the dire side for Vas'Avi, we've got Ryan New playing the Disruptor, Tubby the Fat playing the Luna. We got Flying Zebra playing the Dazzle, no big surprise there. We've got Scar playing the Centaur Warrunner, and I can't find the X's on the map right now, and Lycus playing the Invoker.
All right, yeah, a lot of drawing going on the map, an insane amount of pinging as well. So, CHUANZ has an interesting dilemma here. They've got in themselves a lot of ladies and a fairy dragon, but their aggression coming out here it's just going to be very difficult for them to line up these kills on the tankiness of the Centaur Warrunner up against what I assume is going to be a Tornado EMP reinitiation, up against the Grave, up against the Disruptor, who's going to be able to throw that kinetic field and also throw down that glimpse. It's just going to be very difficult for them to get strong initiations, and their entire squad is very dependent on getting in first and taking out last.
Yeah. And it looks like we're going to see the TA matched up mid against that Invoker.
Yeah, that makes... Once again. Oh, this is going to be an Exhort style Invoker, it looks like, too. At least the first level of an Exhort, though we do sometimes see now Invokers go a 1-1-1 build and then go into the Quaswex just to get a little bit of last hit potential on that Invoker before you go too early. But getting the EMP is really important for dealing with the Templar Assassin as an Invoker. Templar Assassin extremely dependent on refraction. Lycus getting up a lot of DPS on the Exhort will not really be able to damage Templar Assassin through the refraction, but if he gets the EMP up, he's going to be able to do a lot of damage to the Templar Assassin by taking away the mana so there are no refraction. Scar can dive here.
Couple things real quick. Overlay.
Oh, yeah. Ha 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 ha. Overlay is going down.
And it looks like it's going to be a support Naga Siren.
Yep. Yeah, the Frost is the support player.
As I said that in chat, somebody goes, hey, could you make the screen a little bit smaller?
You know what? I think we're going to go ahead and throw back to the lobby screen and just do it all radio style. We'll get the Toffee's chocolate out, and I'll make sure to be super excitable. You guys can just listen with your eyes closed.
the old War of the Worlds. You'll think it's real due to purple chocolate. The cowboy and the Candyman bringing smooth sounds to our late night show. That said, though, we'll go back to the game. Last Hit denies, nothing outrageous getting started just yet. Farm a little bit better for the Dire, but not overwhelmingly.
All right, Invoker now is going up. It's still a little early to call whether or not he's going to rotate into Quaswex or if he's going to go straight Exhort and Quas. I don't see him winning this lane as an Exhort Quas Invoker, though. It just doesn't seem like it's on the table if he does not have that EMP.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that EMP is going to be very important in this matchup. I wonder if he chose to go for maybe just 1 point in that Exhort because of the fact that he's going up against the TA instead of the puck, so it's not quite as valuable early on.
Yeah, there is going to be... I like the Twitch chat. It's best overlay 2014, so, you know... At least they're staring at something that's pretty. Very special thanks to all the people who work at CEVO, making sure that we've got good graphics for you guys to look at instead of the game.
At least it's a pick overlay that's not overwhelmingly in the middle of everything.
There you go.
So.
Dazzle throwing down that poison touch on Ping Ping. Ping Ping taking a fair amount of damage here, actually. He's going to be down to about 250 by the time Flying Zebra backs out. Flying Zebra getting very low. And he's still only level 2. He's saving in case he needs a grave. This is actually really good play coming out of Flying Zebra. He's saving his next level in case he needs a grave, but he'll use the Shadow Wave if he needs to well. This is, once again, just showing why Flying Zebra does so well on that Dazzle. It's the situational awareness that really helps any player be that good at one of these heroes. 1DR is taking a bit of harassment here. As Lycus is, yeah, he's going straight Exhort Quas. He's not going to go for any Wex whatsoever. In the jungle, Scar coming out, trying to leash a little bit of experience as Frost is doing a little bit of support here, trying to do some pull-throughs. So,
now,
yeah,
so I was saying, I am not an Invoker aficionado. I don't have the memory capacity to keep up with all the coding. What level does the Sunstrike become effective?
It depends on what level your opponents are and how squishy they are. You know, I don't really know. I would guess about 4 or 5 of your Exhorts is really... Oh, wow, DR is going to be rotated in by Scar, and that's going to be our first blood as Lycus throws down that last auto attack. And he did that without any of his Exhorts.
Up on top, Ping Ping in some trouble, though. He's getting body blocked by Flying Zebra. Got really low there, but he will just barely get away.
Oh, he's going to be glimpsed! The glimpse back, and he goes down! Luna grabbing that kill. Very nice plays all across the map for VA.
Beautiful disruptor play there. That's the kind of disruptor you want to see if he's on your team, and the kind that you dread after that first glimpse. When that 4.5-minute death glimpse comes out, you start to worry about that disruptor.
Yeah, well, what's nice about a disruptor like that is you want to see him when he's on your team, and you probably won't be seeing him if he's on your opponent's team, because he's going to be in the jungle just glimpsing you back from out of sight range.
The old disruptor ninja.
Anyway, we do see Invoker going for an early mechanism alongside. Back to your question, I would guess around 3 or 4 probably would be the level where you have to start very fearing Sunstrike. But it's, depending on how squished you are, it can be effective at like level 1 or 2.
That's what I thought, which surprised me because Dazzle got down to about 50, I think it was about 25 HP, and was hiding out by the secret shop there for a while Invoker was level 3. So I was surprised there was no Sunstrike attempt at the very least.
Yeah, well, I don't think that he had it invoked. I think at that moment in time he had recently invoked the Cold Snap or something along those lines, so he didn't have the opportunity to make that invocation. Is probably what it was. Either that or he just wasn't aware. It's hard to be that map aware with an Invoker in mid when you're up against a Centaur rotating in, or up with a Centaur rotating in, trying to make sure you're getting the kills. Frost is actually going to rotate in this mid lane to make sure 1DR is getting his farm. But once again, he's having a little bit of trouble in his lane.
Well, and that's because there's been a steady stream of rotations coming out of CHUANZ, I think it is.
Yeah, CHUANZ.
CHUANZ. So Frost rotated in now. A few minutes ago, we saw a rotation in from, I believe, was it Hax? Somebody else rotated in to help them get that early kill. It was, and it's just been very difficult for him to get in there and get that farm.
Yeah, Lycus is doing a fairly solid job in his lane here. He's keeping up with the TA. They also have a kill up, and despite the fact that he's basically unable to damage the TA at this point. So TA is going to get in and do as much farming as he wants, but Lycus is doing a fairly good job keeping his own farm up, which not the best situation in the world up against the TA. We're going to see a glimpse here in the top lane as we do see the puck. He is going to be taken down. This kinetic field. He does not have another orb John, and Luna just going to run and grab a second kill on the Fairy Dragon.
That kinetic field was perfectly placed. So really, Puck had no choice. Come out in the kinetic field or come out next to the death squad.
Oh, there's a net here on Lycus. There's also slow from the Psionic Trap. 1DR coming in with the refraction. He can't be attacked down. The slow coming out of 4Dream. 4Dream making sure the Lycus is not going to be able to get away. Lycus goes down to the Templar Assassin, paying it forward for the death in the pass. 1DR making sure that the lane goes the way it's supposed to in the favor of the Templar Assassin.
And then the TA gets a salve and goes right back into mixing it up. So his support Frost was sitting there waiting with the salve, so they knew they were going to need it after this fight.
So the Centaur's trying to save up for that Blink Dagger, taking a look at some of her items. Lycus still working on something after the headdress. The Luna has gotten a Midas up a little while ago, not too long ago. Looks like about 40 seconds ago, so sometime around 6:30 that Midas went up. Pretty good time. And that's going to be the only Midas in the game, it looks like, unless that Invoker decides to go for one after the mechanism is done, which I honestly would not expect.
So I'm still trying to get my head around why you would go with a farm Priestess over a farmed Naga in this situation.
Yeah. Well, here's the reason why. Because the Naga is going to be, well, I don't know. My reasoning is dependent on the aggressive tri-lane maneuver that I was expecting.
Let's go to the top. Let's go to the top
Zebra, yeah. Flying Zebra is moving here onto Frost. Frost is going to be seen. He's going to go ahead and throw down the illusions, making it just about impossible for him to be glimpsed, and he's going to chase out with those illusions, try to take away those clarities, which are basically done their dub. Joe Ryan Noob narrowly dodging for long enough to get a little bit more mana. All right, so presumably the theory here is Priestess is going to be more easily able to grab some kills off of that net. Wow, Tubby the Fat just diving in with the Eclipse and getting a kill on the Naga Siren here in the top lane. There's going to be TP reaction as the Centaur is coming in. No, sorry, excuse me, that's Hax. There's going to be the stun from the Sacred Arrow, but it's not very long range, and that is going to be enough because of the Starfall double hit. Hax making sure that he's paying off on that Luna's checks. Oh, in the mid lane, we're seeing some additional aggression as Scar comes and saves Lycus. Lycus trying to get away. There's the double edge on some creeps, trying to make sure that it goes down. There's going to be the Sunstrike. Sunstrike is going to miss. Now Frost coming in and throwing down that wave, throwing some of the armor. Scar healing back up as the puck comes in, manages to grab with the orb jaunt the Invoker, but the puck goes down for his hubris. There's going to be some attacks here on Frost. Frost is going to have to back up, and it looks like this might be a tower push.
Definitely going to turn into a tower push. Another beautiful glimpse back by the Disruptor. That's why the Sunstrike missed. This should worth noting. Sunstrike was dead on target had the glimpse not been as effective. So they basically were able to kill, or in a position to kill the TA twice, whether or not she was standing where they expected her to be.
Yeah, they basically had all of their options covered. They had the front entrance barred down and some gunmen on the fire escape. There was no getting away from that, one way or the other. Tubby the Fat starting to take control of the farm, a solid 1,000 ahead of the next nearest hero, partially due to that Midas. Which
Frost in some trouble in the mid right now.
Well, Frost goes down. There's going to be the reinitiation, it looks like, from the TATA. Wants to go in, he's got the refraction charges up, thrown in just for some auto attacks on creeps, and doesn't really want to dive into that dazzle, presumably.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw it. It was a massive net from Naga, a huge long-distance arrow that popped the dazzle, and Naga started to move in like she wanted to go on the Invoker, but TA didn't cross the river. And when Naga tried to pull back, Cold Snap procced at least 4 separate times, one after another, and just kept him in the top lane.
4 Dreams, just a save. Tubby the Fat saying a little far forward, grabs the tower, but is going to go down, not able to get 4 Dreams out of that. 4 Dreams very daringly teleports in and to solo the Luna long enough for the rest of his team to show up. So they lost the tower in that. Now in the bottom lane, we're going to see the Moonlight Shadow used defensively. There's going to be a glimpse back into tower range. Kinetic Field, Hax is going to have to leap into the jungle, but the Moonlight Shadow is going to be over here soon. There's going to be the ultimate coming out of the Disruptor, and with a double edge, Scar going to clean up that kill in the mid lane. Looks like we might have a little bit of front end coming out of DR as well.
Yeah, so far it's been very back and forth. For every one kill, there tends to be another. And I think right now it looks to me like VA is, apart from that last fight, tends to be winning the top and bottom lanes. Middle lane, however, has been... I'm sorry, I got it backwards. VA's been winning that bottom and that mid lane pretty aggressively, and CHUANZ has been doing well in the top lane.
Yeah, this has been a lot of back and forth. Though VA did get an early tower top, so... It's really hard to call, and Tubby the Fat coming to the bottom lane, they're going to push this down as well. They're not planning on leaning back at all here. They are potentially going to trade off for tier 1 mid. Lycus being netted down, he's going to take some auto attacks from... Wow, what a teleport with the Grave for Lycus. There's going to be the weave. Lycus will still go down here to the TA. The Sacred Arrow hit him. Even though he couldn't die, he also couldn't move. There's going to be the stun killing off the TA coming out of Scar. Nice teleport coming in out of him. He does have a Blink Dagger up now, and that is basically going to be the word go for aggression coming out of VA. VA also grabbing that tower. The Midas already paying off. There is the Helm of the Dominator up on the Luna, and... just take a look at the rest of our items as well. Invoker's still down on the... Still having a little bit of trouble getting up that mechanism, but he's getting very close now.
And he's been sacrificed. He's been sacrificed a few times, but that Dazzle Shallow Grave literally resulted in what was going to be a 1-death tower going the way of CHUANZ became a 2-to-1 exchange and a tower going the way of VA.
Yeah. This is one last remaining tier 1 tower here for the mid, as Disruptor is coming in, throwing down the Static Storm, or excuse me, not the Static Storm, the Thunderstrike. All sorts of storms coming out of that Disruptor. Calling down the Wrath of God. Not literally the Wrath of God.
That would be Zeus.
Yes, but bringing down a figurative Wrath of God on to 4 Dream, who's trying to heal himself back up.
So up on top, Tubby going to try to force out some TPs. He's being very aggressive using that farm. And in the mid, they're just going to keep... pushing here to make sure that nobody goes up to try and stop or get in the way of Tubby. But that said,
here's the Static Storm as it comes out with the Kinetic Field. DR is going to go down. 4 Dream trying to get away. Scar barely misses his stun, but he is going to go ahead and get out the double edge as he is frozen down. Now Frost trying to come in. He nets down Scar. He's doing a little bit of attack damage as Flying Zebra tries to get away. Lycus, Scar, and Flying Zebra all caught within the Siren Song. Frost waiting for some backup, but the TP is not going to come in. Wow, this is a Battle of Serenity moment. Frost left to die with that ultimate up and running. No support coming, and it looks like the Empire going to go ahead and take another tower here as VA continues to command the pacing of this game.
Yeah, Frost is having a very tough game right now. 0-3-3. I know it's not a farming Frost, but still that score on that Naga is going to be causing them some serious trouble. And that is really sort of the story of this game so far, is they've been doing a good job of keeping the support from contributing too much and suppressing them. So both the support on the Radiant side are still level 6 and pretty fresh 6s as well.
Dazzle just purchased the gem. It's going to be on its way out to him as they do move on to the Roshan. Take a look at the vision comparison here. Dire side has their entire opponent's jungle visioned up. In addition, the mid lane fairly well seen, and they have all their outer tier towers up, which means that they've got better vision there, and they have vision up in the mid lane extended. Radiant side, meanwhile, just have vision at their tier 2s and at their ancients, nothing else. They have absolutely no vision outside of their jungle or even within their own jungle. and they're having a little bit of trouble controlling the pace of the game, partially because they don't really know where the pace of the game is moving.
Mm-hmm. And in the meantime, VA knows exactly where their opponents are at all times, and it has paid off in dividends here.
Yeah, the Disruptor really going hard in on the support style as well. He's sitting on top of Dust and Sentries. He's got himself some smoke, and he's ready to go.
That said, though, it is worth noting that after we hit that 10, it was about the 11-minute mark to where we are right now, about to hit 15, the gold lead went from around 3,000 to it's about to hit the 10K mark.
Yeah, this is starting to get out of control for CHUANZ again, but they just need to make sure they're keeping up in towers. They need to get out and get some towers. This is one of the problems with their draft. They don't have a lot of tower siege. They've got the Naga Siren, and that's about it. And Naga Siren really not giving enough farm or building for that tower draft idea. Ping Ping going to be engaged on the double edge going out. Not enough damage, but the Thunder Strike might be enough. Yes, it will be. Disruptor grabbing that kill as Hax comes in with some auto attack. Going to leap in after Rhino. There's the Starfall. It is also going to hit Scar. The Weave going out. Now Flying Zebra with the defensive Grave on himself. Scar coming in, getting a very nice stun. There's going to be one auto attack, two auto attacks. DR is going to be taken out as the Sacred Arrow gets the Disruptor. Now Flying Zebra coming in behind with Lycus with Scar. They're going to chase down on Hax. Oh, there's the GG call. Already coming out as Hax turns around and suicides against the entire squad. They don't think they can pull it out, and they're going to give up this series 0-2 in favor of VA, who are quickly becoming an upper tier team in this CEVO season number 4.
Yeah, so the impressive. So impressive play coming out of VA. Made their picks, executed their will, good rotations, and really just served up a defeat that was very tough for CHUANZ to fight back against.
Yeah, this was excellent execution from VA. There's really no other way to say it. CHUANZ had sort of ambiguous drafts. They didn't necessarily execute on them the way that maybe would have been ideal, but that being said, they did fairly well through the first part of the first game. Through this game, they did fairly well, and they just had the falling off point that they just could not continue to maintain the pace of the game that VA wanted.
So that said, if you guys enjoyed the match, head over to Twitter, follow me at Toffees_Dota2. Also, make sure you follow Play CEVO-1 and Play CEVO-2 if you're feeling like skipping between channels. We're here every week bringing you the best action in North and South American semi-pro Dota, as well as a bunch of other things. So follow us on Twitter for updates on whatever matches it is that myself, Gorgon, are going to be casting that week, as well as the other casters, teams who work for CEVO.
So please do make sure you follow that Play CEVO-1 for all of your updates here. And also, follow Toffees, as he said. Follow me at GotCowDota, as you will be able to find Toffees and me casting all over the place at every level of play, from here to Join Dota, to the small Bangladeshian conferences over in the ticketed 99-cent area of your Dota 2 store. We're all over the place, so make sure you're coming by our Twitter so that you know where we're casting and what you can catch on our channels and every channel that we do cast to. That being said, thanks for stopping by for this Play CEVO Season number 4 match, and we'll be back next week with some